All right. We are reviewing what we've been talking about in this unit, which are triangles, sides, and their angle measures. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so for numbers 1 through 6, it's asking us to solve for x. Okay, well, in order to solve for x, we have to know how many degrees total are always in a triangle. Okay, well, we know that in a triangle, all three of their degree measures, meaning this angle, and that angle, have to equal 180 degrees, always. Okay, so knowing this, we can solve number 1 a couple ways. We can take each angle that it's giving us, even the angle with the x in it, and we can add them all up and set them equal to 180. Okay, so we'll do that for the first one. Okay, so we're going to take 34 plus 64 plus our next angle, which is x plus 88, and it's all equal to 180. Okay, well, now in order to solve for x, we just need to combine like terms. So we have 34 plus 64 plus 88. Okay, you can do that in a calculator if you want. 34 plus 64 plus 88. And that gives us 186 plus x, that's still there. We just combined those three, and it all still equals 180. Okay, well, now there's only one step I need to do to get x by itself, and it is to get rid of this plus 186. Okay, well, the opposite of positive, or a plus 186, is going to be to subtract 186, minus 186 from both sides. So we get x is equal to 180 minus 186 is negative 6. Okay, and don't worry that we got a negative. This is not the actual degree, okay? This is the x, okay? So negative 6 plus 88 would give us that actual degree. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve it. We'll solve it the same way for number 2 as well. Okay, and then on numbers 3 and 4, I'll show you a different way. So we have 44, 78, and 8x minus 6. So we're going to take all three of them, 44 plus 78 plus 8x minus 6, set it equal to 180. And we can solve for x. Okay, go ahead and on this side of my equal sign, combine like terms. 44 plus 78 minus 6. Remember, we can't combine it with the x. That's not a like term. So we have 44 plus 78 minus 6. And we get 116 plus 8x, that's still over there, equals 180. Okay, now there's a couple things we got to do to get x by itself. The first thing I have to do is get rid of positive 116. So we're going to subtract 116 for both sides. Okay, so 180 minus 116 gives me 64 on this side. Still is equal to 8x. Okay, now one more step to get x by itself. I have times by 8, so I'm going to divide by 8 on both sides. So I get x is equal to 64 divided by 8, which is 8. And there we are, solving for x in the triangle. Okay, so now on 3 and 4, we're going to solve it a little bit different. Okay, so I'm actually going to take the two angles that it gives me. We're basically doing the same thing. Remember, it gives me 30, and then this little box symbol means 90 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to take 30 plus 90. I'm going to add the two angles that it gives me.
Students and teachers at this time, we would like all remaining students to come down. So any student that has not tested yet, please come to the east doors of the gym. Please report to the gym. All students who have not tested, please come to the gym now.
Sorry, hard for me to talk through that. Okay, so I'm going to take the two angles that it gives me, add them together. So 30 plus 90 is going to give me 120. Okay, so now I'm going to take 180, subtract what I found, those two angles. 180 minus 120 gives me 60. So we know that my green angle, this third angle, has to equal 60 degrees. Okay, but that's not what we were looking for. We were looking for x. So now I can take x plus 71, set it equal to 60, and solve. Okay, so we're doing the same thing, just in a little bit different steps. Okay, so the only thing I gotta do to get rid of, or to get x by itself, is to the opposite of plus 71. So we're going to subtract 71 from both sides. Subtract 71. So we get x is equal to 60 minus 71, which gives me negative 11. So x equals negative 11. And there we go. Okay, so let's do that same thing on number 4. Okay, so I'm going to take the two angles that it actually gives me. Okay, 41 plus 61, and add those together. 41 plus 61 gives me 102. Okay, so now we're going to take 180, the entire triangle, subtract 102, those two angles. 180 minus 102 gives me 78. So we know that that third angle has to equal 78 degrees. Okay, so we just take the little equation that it gives me, x plus 86, set it equal to 78, and now we can solve. Okay, so the only thing I have to do to get my x by itself is get rid of plus 86. Okay, opposite is subtract 86 from both sides. So we get x is equal to 78 minus 86 is negative 8. And there we go. Okay, numbers 5 and 6, it's still asking us to solve for x, but this is where we learned about the exterior angle theorem. Okay, the exterior angle theorem tells us that if I'm going to do a little triangle right here. Okay, and I'm going to pretend that leg extends out. Okay, what this tells us is that if this is angle A, and I know it's really small, and that's angle B, and this guy on the outside is angle C, we know that A plus B equals C. Or in other words, the two interior angles equal that exterior angle. That's why it's called the exterior angle theorem. Okay, so in order to solve for x, we're going to do exactly that. Okay, so two interior angles, 38 plus 6x is going to equal this whole angle out here, 10x minus 10. Okay, so take the two angles that it gives you, 8 plus 6x, that's okay, that's an angle, plus 30 equals 10x minus 10. Okay, now we can go ahead and solve for x. The only problem that I'm running into is I see that there are x's on both sides. Okay, so I need to move the smaller one. Remember, I like moving the smaller one to keep things positive. So out of 6 and 10, 6 is smaller, so we're going to do the opposite of plus 6x. Subtract 6x from both sides. Okay, and then over here I need to combine some like terms. 8 plus 30, so that gives me 38 is left over on that side. 10x minus 6x, 4x minus 10. Okay, now there's a couple things I need to do to get my x by itself over here. First thing I got to get rid of is this minus 10. So I'm going to add 10 on both sides. So I get 48 equals 4x, or 4 times something equals 48. Last step to getting x by itself, opposite of times by 4, is divide by 4 on both sides. So I get x is equal to 48 divided by 4. X equals 12. And there we go. So the exterior angle theorem, two interior angles added together equals the exterior angle. Okay, we just had to move some stuff, combine like terms, and solve for x. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that again on number 6. So again, we have two interior angles, 1, 2, and they're going to equal that exterior angle. Okay, so I have 5x plus 13 plus 4x plus 8, and it all equals that exterior angle, 120. Okay, so now I just need to solve for x. Okay, few like terms, because all my x's are on one side, we just need to combine them. So I have 5x plus 4x. 5 plus 4 is going to give me 9 x's on that side. And then 13 plus 8 gives me positive 21. All still equals 120. Now we can go ahead and get rid of things to get x by itself. Okay, the first thing I got to get rid of is this plus 21, so we're going to subtract 21 from both sides. I get 9x is equal to 120 minus 21 is 99. Okay, my last step for getting x by itself, the opposite of times by 9 is divide by 9. So I get x is equal to 99 divided by 9. Whoops, that is not correct. I don't know why I was just thinking that. 99 divided by 9 is 11. Not 9. 11. X is equal to 11. Okay. So that was solving for x when we're given 2 of the 3 angles, or if we're given the 2 interior angles that we know has to equal that exterior angle when added together. Okay, so now on numbers 7 and 8, it's asking us to find the missing length indicated. So we're trying to find a missing side here. Okay, remember, we can set these up proportionally. So what we're actually looking for on number 7 is the whole side to this triangle. We'll call this x. And now I'm going to split this big triangle into 2 smaller triangles. So I have 2 smaller triangles right here. Okay, I'll call that my purple triangle. Call this one my green triangle. Okay, so in order to find the whole piece, first of all, let's go ahead and set up our proportion. Okay, so for my purple guy, I'm going to go, let's just do right over left. Okay, so we have 10 over 15 for my purple triangle. Equals, well, what is this side? We don't know this side. Okay, well, we can write it as, if this is x and this is 10, then this has to be x minus 10. Okay, so again, right over left, x minus 10 over 6. Okay, now what we do, we call it cross multiplying. Okay, so we're going to crisscross multiply these guys together. So first I get 10 times 6, which is 60, equals, okay, I'm going to write this one completely out, 15 times x minus 10. Okay, I had to write that completely out because now we're dealing with what we call the distributive property. This 15 has to multiply to both of those things. So again, we still have 60 over here, equals 15 times x, 15x, 15 times negative 10 minus 150. Okay, so what we're actually solving for now is this guy, x minus 10. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and actually, no, we're solving for the whole thing. Yep, we're solving for the whole thing, x minus 10. We're good. Okay, so we're solving for x, our whole x. Okay, so let's go ahead and just start getting rid of things. The first thing I got to get rid of is minus 150, so we're going to add 150 to both sides. Okay, so 150 plus 60 is 210, equals 15x, or 15 times something equals 210. Okay, now we just have the opposite of times by 15, which is to divide by 15. So 210 divided by 15, we get x is equal to 14. Okay, so we know that this whole length right here has to be 14. Beautiful. Alrighty. Number 8. Okay, so let's go ahead and again just split it into 2 triangles. So the bigger one we'll say is my purple one. And the green one will be my smaller one. Okay, so it gives us purple, but we're missing a side for the purple. But we can easily figure out that side, okay? If my whole thing is 33 and the green piece is 12, well then this purple piece has to be 33 minus 12. Okay, we'll even write that out. 33 minus 12, which has to equal 33 minus 12 is 21. Okay, so we just found that side of our purple one, which is going to help us find x, the side on our green one.
Teachers and students, this is the last call for anybody testing today. Please, anybody testing today, please report to the gym at this point in time. Thank you. Any adult wanting to test, same thing. If you can come down to get tested, we've got a station set up for you too. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so now that we know that that side for my purple is 21, we can set up my proportion. Okay, so I'm just going to go bottom over top. So for purple, 21 over 28 is equal to the same pattern for my green, bottom over top, 12 over x. Okay, now I just cross multiply and solve for x. So 21 times x is going to give me 21x. Is equal to 28 times 12, which I'm going to put in my calculator, 336. Okay, well now the only thing I have to do to get x by itself is the opposite of times by 21, which is going to be 2 divided by 21 on both sides. So x is equal to 336 divided by 21, which again I'm doing in my calculator. And I get 16. So we know that that missing side for my green triangle is 16. Beautiful. So that guy, we'll even label it 16. Okay, numbers 9 and 10. It's asking us to classify each triangle by its angles and sides. Okay, so let's go ahead and write out our options. Okay, so angles, I'm going to write it over here, you can see. With angles, we can either have a right triangle, an obtuse triangle, where one of them is greater than 90 degrees, and an acute triangle. Okay, with sides, we can have where none of the sides equal each other. They're all different, scalene. Where 2 of the sides equal each other, isosceles, or where all 3 of the sides equal each other, and that would be an equilateral. Okay, so let's go ahead and identify using the measurement. So first, let's do our angles. Okay, so I see with our angles, we have 39, 121, and 20. Okay, well I don't see a 90 degrees, so we know it's not right triangle. But I see that this 121 is bigger than 90 degrees. Whenever you see a 1 degree that's larger than 90 degrees, that tells us obtuse. So this guy is an obtuse triangle. Now we just look at our sides. So I have 3, 5.5, and whoa, that line went way off, 7.5. Okay, well 3, 5.5, and 7.5 are all different. Okay, so with our sides, that would be scalene. So this guy is classified as an obtuse scalene triangle. And that's it. Okay, so let's look at number 10. So again, let's start with our angles. So I have 71, 71, and 38. Okay, well I don't see a 90 degrees, so no right triangle. And I don't see any degrees that are bigger than 90 degrees. So that only leaves us with acute, where all 3 of the angles are less than 90 degrees. Okay, So this guy has to be acute. Okay, well now let's look at our sides. I have 3.3, 2.2, and 3.3. Well, 3.3 is the same thing as 3.3, so two of our sides are equal to each other, and that tells us isosceles. So this guy is an acute isosceles triangle. And that is it. There are your notes. You have an assignment that goes with it.